I'm nervous. Is that weird?
Why?
I don't know. It's a big show.
It's our first annual something, like our first time that we have a second annual thing.
I'm nervous. I've got I'm not it doesn't matter, right? Like it's not live, but I don't know. I got that feeling in my chest that I get when I go on stage and stuff. It's not I don't get super stage fright or anything. I don't get paralyzed, but I get that I don't know, almost anxious, excited feeling. That's what I've got right now.
Anticipation. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Got that feeling right now. It's weird.
It's the biggest event of the year.
Welcome to Pride and Accomplishment. My name is Jason.
And I'm Chris. This is episode 66.
Do you want to do the honors?
Well, we don't have I feel like we need a drum roll or a theme song or something here, but sure, I can do the honors. Welcome back, everyone, to our second annual How Much Did Chris and Jason Spend on Video Games episode.
Oh, it feels so good. It's such an accomplishment to say something is annual.
Yes, because the first one is not the first annual anything. It's the first one. But the time that you do it the second time in a different year, it becomes the second annual.
Yeah, it's just automatically the second annual.
So we've made it. We have consistently, and the other big thing to point out from a show milestone perspective is that last year we did end up posting an episode every other week as we planned for the entire year without missing a week.
Yeah, we never skipped. Yeah. That was huge for us. I feel like we kind of set our sights on that and we were yeah, we'll try our best and we'll do. But then as it went on, we're just we don't want to break the streak. And here we are 26 episodes later, or 25 episodes, just the way the calendar worked out. But every 2 weeks later, here we are.
Yeah. So this will be a follow-up to episode 41, which came out in early 2021. And we will be going through our list of kind of games that we've bought. We've been scouring our credit card statements and our Steam libraries and looking up all of the different purchases that we had made over the year. And we've tallied them up. We've got tables, we've got spreadsheets, and we'll go through them all kind of category by category here on this episode.
Yeah, that's an interesting maybe first point is how did you go about trying to find all of this information? Where did you start, and did you forget about any place that you had purchased games, or what was your strategy to find all of this?
Well, I think at this point, if I forgot, then it's not in this list. But I did start with my Steam library because that's the easiest thing. Steam actually has a really nice account page where it just shows you all your transactions and it just lists them all out in a way that you can't export it to a CSV, but you can copy paste it into Excel. And so I just put it on a spreadsheet and took out all of the times where I had bought Steam Wallet credit and just put it in as just the games because essentially, you spend the money to get the credit into your wallet and then you spend down the wallet credit as buying games. So I did not include any of the buying wallet credit because that's just gift cards basically.
Yeah, I started the same place. I started on Steam as well. Did the same exact thing as you. Cut out some of the things, and I don't buy as many gift cards as you. But again, we didn't really record that because it's not actually. I don't know. I don't consider that a purchase. It's just preparing for a purchase. But yeah, no, I started on Steam as well. I think you're right that they have the kind of the cleanest way to. Well, and I mean, as we'll kind of find out, it's where the most of the transactions are.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say that most of my spending, I mean, it's maybe the largest piece of the pie chart, but it's not more than half of my game spending for the year.
No, I'll agree. I think it's the same for me, but it is definitely the most number of individual transactions.
Yes, definitely.
Because most often on Steam, you're buying, and we'll talk about this, you're buying, actual games rather than subscriptions or anything else. So it is nice that they put it all in one spot. I had trouble past that point, right? Because once I was okay, Steam, I've got it all. Now where do I look?
For me, the next thing was PayPal because I try to make most of my kind of online purchases of random stuff using PayPal, so I don't have to give out a credit card number and go through that whole thing. So I went to PayPal and looked up my transactions there, and I found a few things. Not that I would have forgotten about, but it was just easy to just have a big list of and just kind of skim that because I don't have that many PayPal transactions, so it's not quite as thorough as looking through credit card statements. I did not actually go, did not actually go to my credit card statements and like really look through them. I might have searched for a couple things targeted if I knew what I was looking for, but I don't believe that I actually skimmed statements or anything like that.
Yeah, so I did the PayPal thing too. I do try, like, not even because it's easier, just because I know that all of the transactions will be in one place if I pay with PayPal. So anything I buy online, I try to pay. I'm using my credit card, but essentially through PayPal, so the transaction gets recorded. And I did that too. And I found most of the things. I did skim my credit card kind of transactions for the whole year, which outside of the scope of this podcast, I learned some other very interesting things. But I don't know that I found very much that because it's through PayPal, but it ends up hitting my credit card. Essentially, I skimmed over anything that said PayPal on my credit card statement. And I don't know that I found much more, but I did, just for completeness, skim it as well. Even with that, though, it was a little hard for me sometimes. There's one more place that and it's Amazon, and I actually have a separate Amazon credit card. And I made some purchases on Amazon this year that were video game related, more than last year, for sure, because just some more stuff was going on and deals and whatnot. And that goes on a different credit card for me because you get the 5% whatever for the Amazon card. So I had to look yet another place.
So I think the moral of the story is that we've really been very thorough here and put a lot of work into this. So we've endeavored to make this as complete as possible, and you won't know if we missed anything. So we'll just go through it.
So we started with Steam. Do you want to start with Steam?
Yeah, let's go ahead and start with Steam.
Not surprising to either of us. Steam, you and I were actually pretty close in our, well, okay, maybe not. Maybe one game or so in our overall spend. But yours was much more focused than mine, which I think is exactly the same as last year. So you'll actually hear us compare a lot to last year. We kept a lot of last year's numbers in here, just because I think for me personally, it's very interesting. But your focused spend on Steam, I will call it, I think is pretty consistent.
Yeah, I was actually very surprised when I went to go do this exercise, because if you had asked me blind, like, did I spend more or less on games like in 2021 than in 2020, I think I would have said less, probably. And it came out. So last year, I think we talked about on the episode, I had about $343 spent on Steam. This year, I have $305. So almost the same, within $40, one game, and the biggest piece for me was that last year I talked about how I had spent a bunch of money on Dota 2, because that's something I like to do. It's something that it's a game that I really enjoy. I like getting the cosmetics. I like playing the battle passes and doing that whole, progression system and all of that stuff. And I was at $200 in 2020, and I am at almost exactly $200 in 2021 as well. So whatever the monetization strategy of Dota is, it's working on me because I've done the exact same thing 2 years in a row.
We have some other games that kind of line up. The one, actually, you just pointed out your 2021 and 2020 spend. I just looked it up because I don't have it written down. I was within $1. In 2021, I spent $334.99 on Steam. In 2020, it was $335.94.
Wow. That is very consistent.
I did not try to make that happen, but that is what ended up happening. Maybe we can quickly go over what we both purchased, starting kind of from the top. I did not spend any money on Dota, but we both purchased New World, which see previous episodes on how we feel about that. We both purchased Creeper World 4. Mm-hmm. Wait, actually, no, I take that back. I purchased Creeper World 4 a year ago. You did not. You purchased it in 2021.
Oh, yeah, you pre-ordered it.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. We both purchased Jackbox Party Pack 8, which came out this year. We both purchased a
little bit of Rocket League stuff.
Yep. Give a good point. Some cosmetics and some stuff like that. What else is there? Tales of Midgard. Tribes of Midgard.
Whatever it is. Tribes of Midgard. I wrote it wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, it was on sale. It's a decent game, and maybe we'll talk about it sometime. But we both purchased that.
The other thing I wanted to call out that we both did is we both put a deposit down on the Steam Deck.
Oh, so excited. I'm so excited.
And that happened in like July or August. I mean, it was a long time ago at this point. And they've just announced that they've delayed the Steam Deck. They announced it a couple weeks ago. I was supposed to be in a Q1 2022. Like, I haven't looked to see. I'm assuming I'm in Q2 22 now. But like, I was supposed to be like ordering my Steam Deck by now. And that was something that I just totally forgotten about until I looked at my Steam thing. And it was like, oh yeah, you spent $5 deposit on a Steam Deck. I was like, oh yeah, I did do that. Huh.
Yeah, we'll talk about it soon. But the latest I've heard is they are on track for, like end of February. So I assume you're going to be getting an email early February for purchase.
Nice. That would, yeah. I mean, I wasn't in the first wave. I think I was in kind of the second wave, and I think you're in the third or fourth wave. But I'm very excited.
Okay, well, soon. We won't dig into it, but I'm very excited, and I had generally forgotten about that deposit as well. But I'm ready to pay for the full thing. I spent some other various things in Steam. We'll have it in the show notes, maybe. I bought some various things about. I bought Stronghold Warlords. I'm a fan of the Stronghold series. Bought some Space Engineers stuff. I bought Hades this year. I think you may have purchased it the year before. I don't know. Actually, I don't see it on your list at all.
I don't remember how I got Hades, because I did get it. Like, maybe I bought it this year and I just didn't count it. I don't know. I'd have to look at that.
Yeah, I don't know. We both got Hades, or we both own Hades. I don't know. I bought Valheim this year. Outriders is another one that I purchased that you correctly waited for it to go to Game Pass and probably still haven't played yet.
Yep, that's correct. I played the beta. It was fine, and I didn't get into it, and I didn't buy it, and that was the right choice.
Yeah, I would say my only regret this year is probably Stronghold Warlords. There's a few that I haven't played much, but that's probably my only regret from a Steam perspective.
I would say that I'm pretty proud of myself that I was very targeted in my... And I did this last year too, but like very targeted in my buying of Steam games. I didn't buy anything I wasn't going to play right away. I've kind of gotten off of the habit of like collecting games in Steam if I'm not going to like immediately play them, because I already have like over 500 games in my Steam library, and there's no point to adding more to that if I'm not going to do something with them. So I've kind of focused up a little bit on the Steam front, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, you did a nice job this year of really focusing. The one purchase of yours that I am jealous of is Turmoil for $2. That's a great game. For $2 is a great price.
It is a great price.
That's a great Steam Deck game.
Yes, I got that game for $2 on the Switch, and then I was like, "Oh, this game is really fun. I should get it on the PC as well." Kind of with the Steam Deck in mind. Because now, I mean, I play it on the Switch, and it's very fun on the Switch, and it would also be very fun on the Steam Deck because it's basically the same thing as the Switch. So, yes, look forward to that when you get a Steam Deck. A little bit of real-time follow-up. I did look up when I got Hades. So we recorded this episode, I believe, on December 30th of 2020. I bought Hades on December 31st of 2020. So after we recorded the last...
Oh, you got to include it then. Or adjust last year's numbers.
Well, sure. I mean, for all of the people that are keeping track, yeah. So I've got $20 worth of Hades that slipped in between the cracks of the years here.
Which does kind of put you a little closer to like the overall last year.
Yeah, I mean, I was $40 off. Now I'd be $20 off.
It's amazing how consistent we are, and we don't try to. It's not like I'm looking and be like, oh, I have a certain budget. Like I don't strictly budget, but I hit within $1.
That is really impressive. Well, and yeah, and my thing with the Dota thing, I was exactly right on. So like, which is, I mean, it makes sense because I always kind of buy things in a certain pattern, like, you know, because there's kind of a pattern to the battle passes and stuff. But like, I'm surprised that it came out that perfect.
Anything else on Steam? I'm overall pretty happy with what happened, and it is, I don't know, a quarter of my spend, I think.
Yeah, probably about the same for me, quarter to a third.
Next, real quick, is a category that I'm in that Chris is not, I every year so far, and I probably will continue, pay for EA Play Pro, formerly EA Premier Access or whatever. But But it is essentially the premium, get everything EA the day it comes out, even a little early. Don't have to wait for anything. EA Play is included with a lot of things now. It's included with, we'll talk about it in a little bit, the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. It's included with, or you can buy it on Steam kind of at I don't know if it's discounted or whatnot, but I pay for EA Play Pro, which is, get everything automatically day it comes out if it's on EA. And that comes out to $100 a year. I think it's $15 a month or $100 a year. And obviously or maybe it's $10 a month or $100 a year. So you get a discount for paying a year at a time. This is the way I think about it. How many EA games am I going to buy in a year? And quite honestly, it's probably about 1.5. 1 to 2 every year. So $100 for me is fine. I probably would have purchased some EA games this year. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I don't regret the purchase. But if there was something that like I was really trying to cut cost, this would probably be the first to go.
Didn't you play Mass Effect this year? Didn't that?
I did. Mass Effect was a big one that was included with EA Play Pro. Battlefield 2042, I did play. I didn't play very much. I think it's debatable on whether I would have purchased it if I didn't already have it. I did Squadrons wasn't this year, was it?
No, that was last year. That was actually why I got EA Play Pro. So I had EA Play Pro up until I think October of this year, like October of 2021. So I just turned it off so to not auto renew. And so I've really only not had it for 3 months, but when I did have it, I wasn't really using it except for to play Squadrons like in fall of 2020. So it didn't make sense to keep it for me.
Yeah, and I liked it for the Star Wars games while I had it. Now all of the Star Wars games are just on EA Play, so you don't really need the premium. But I don't know. It's just for $100 a year, I think it's just a convenience for me, and I know I would spend somewhere close to it, so I'll probably keep doing it.
The next category is a little bit interesting in light of some recent news, but the Humble Bundle or Humble Choice subscription is a setup where you would pay some amount of money, and we were grandfathered in from years and years and years ago. As a monthly subscription, you'd pay, and you would get a choice of 10 games, and different tiers gave you different numbers of choices and all of this stuff. We were, again, grandfathered in, so we had all 10 choices. The quality of the games has been up and down, I would say, and probably more down than up.
I would say down lately.
Yeah, definitely. So that's one that's a little bit up in the air. For the past several years, we were grandfathered into this plan, and as long as you kind of didn't break the chain, you got to keep your low price. But as of like a week ago, they've announced that starting in February, they're changing their business model. So there's only going to be one plan, and that means that we are no longer special.
Yeah, and okay, on the one side, I don't know how I feel about it, but on the other side, I don't really care. Because if I'm reading between the lines of the email they sent, I think what they're saying is they also realize the quality of games has been low, and they will be working to potentially not give a full list of 10 games anymore because they're not held to, their premium membership was $20 a month and you got to choose 9 games. So they had to supply at least 9 games. Now what I'm reading between the lines is, hey, everyone's going to be $12, but we may only give you 4 games. And I think the quality of games will go up. I'm hopeful for that. So, and I'm okay with that because that's how it used to be before they changed everything. Was it's $12 a month and you take what we give you. And it was like it was like the monthly box that you get in the mail. And if you only got 4 games, but 2 of them were AAA games that you were like, oh, this is great. But now they were required to give out at least 9 games. And I think that really ruined the quality. I got very lucky.
Yeah. So what's going on here? So I look at our document and I have $132 of yearly Humble Classic at whatever, $12 a month or whatever it is. I look at the Jason column and there's a big 0.
Yeah. So, okay. I have they did something very strange with Humble, where they changed it where you didn't have to pay the day the games came out. You could like your billing cycle and the games didn't always like line up. Previously, like you had to be a member and pay on the day the games came out, because if you didn't get those games. So like it was truly like a mystery box in the mail. Either you got that month's or you didn't. And they changed it in such a way that you could now see the games that were in the bundle before you purchased them. So it was a little strange. So what happened is I paid for a year's worth of Humble Classic in December 2020. And in December 2021, I didn't like any of the games. I didn't care. So I was up to renew because it was my 12th month. However, I said, you know what? I really don't care for any of these games. So I chose to pause in December of 2021 before it charged me.
Oh, okay.
So now, if I want to get the January 2022 games, I will have to pay $100. I have to pay the yearly fee.
Okay, that makes more sense, I guess.
Yeah, I just got really lucky in that I skipped it's 13 months instead of 12 months. So like technically in 2021, I didn't pay them any money. But if their fiscal year was October to October, like it wouldn't make any difference to them. You know what I mean? It's just weird that it fell on a year rollover.
Yeah, and then every 13 years you would pay twice if you kept the same skipping idea, which you don't have to do, and it's not, that's all at will, but I understand now. Okay, this makes sense. I was very confused when we were going through this because I was like, how the heck did you get away with not paying them at all? But that makes sense to me. How many months did you skip?
Just one.
Okay, gotcha.
It happened such that my renewal was in December. So like if my renewal was in July, I still would have paid them. If I skipped 1 month, I would have paid them in September.
Right. So your new renewal will be in January or February or whatever if you keep it.
Right. I will, and I plan on keeping it. Now I'm going to do one more year. I was originally thinking about canceling it, but now that they've announced these changes, I am hopeful that the quality of game goes up. So I'm going to try for one more year.
That's interesting because I think there's now no benefit to an annual plan. Like as far as, there's no grandfathering, there's no reason to have this annual plan. So I'm kind of thinking like I might go month to month because it's not cheaper to do it for a year. Like a lot of stuff they'll knock off a month or two if you do it for a year. But in this case, it's really not. So I'm not sure if I want to just keep it turned on for annual renewal or if I'll just kind of go month to month and turn on, turn off sometimes.
They do have that benefit that you get higher discounts if you're a subscriber for longer times now, which we can talk about the specifics later. The other thing with Humble Bundle with me is the only reason I paused is because I realized that I wouldn't have to pay right away. And
yeah, okay.
If it was like December and I was like, in the middle of my plan, I may have paused, but I was much more inclined to pause because it was preventing a payment.
Sure.
It's just easier for me to pay for a whole year. I mean, you're right. There's no benefit to paying for a year except instead of month to month. But I am kind of interested in earning that perk where you get the highest discount in the Humble store if you subscribe for a solid year.
Only as long as you don't skip. That's the key.
As long as you don't skip. Yeah. But I don't know. I think it's just easier for me to pay for a year. It's also one credit card transaction rather than 12. So when we get to this third annual of this show, it'll be much easier to calculate.
Oh, that's a very good point. Maybe I'll have to leave mine on annual just for that.
It's not a good reason, but The next area is an area that I need to take a lesson in. So the next category we have on our document is just labeled Microsoft. And it's pretty vague and pretty generic, but they have their own store now. And really what it comes down to is the Game Pass, which is the best deal in gaming if you do it like Chris.
I mean, I think it's arguable that it's the best deal in gaming regardless. But yes, I feel that I've really gotten quite the deal this year. And we talked about this a couple episodes ago.
We did. And what I'd like to just point out is that I paid monthly for Xbox Game Pass for PC, which is theoretically just a generic Game Pass for PC, not upgraded in any way. It's not ultimate. I paid $10 a month plus tax. So I ended up paying $127 for just 2021. Chris did it the right way.
Yes. So I did have month to month. I paid for Game Pass for PC for about 4 months. And that was kind of off and on because I had bought the games that I played. So I bought Forza Horizon 4 and Sea of Thieves, which were kind of the games that I was interested in. And then I canceled my Game Pass for like most of the year. And then something came out in July or August in late summer. I forget what it was. It was that game that Uprise or no, not whatever that steampunk cyberpunk top-down 4-person. What was that thing?
Oh man, I don't even remember. I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah. Anyway, it was because of that, because we had some people that wanted to play it, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll turn my Game Pass back on. And there was a couple other things coming. So like Forza Horizon 5 was coming, and Halo Infinite was coming, and I wasn't sure if people would be interested in that. So I was like, all right, I'll turn it back on then. At the same time, there's been all of this kind of buzz around the intro deal that you can do for Game Pass Ultimate, where you pay $1 and you get all of your Xbox Gold time. So any of your like paid online time for the Xbox console gets converted 1-to-1 into Game Pass Ultimate credit. And on Black Friday, as we've previously mentioned, I was able to pick up a $50 a year code, and you can stack up to 3 years of time in your account. So for $150, I bought 3 years of Game Pass for PC, or sorry, not Game Pass for PC, Xbox Live Gold. And then for $1 more, I converted it to Game Pass Ultimate time. And so now I am paid through November of 2024 for Xbox Live / Game Pass Ultimate.
Point of order.
Yes.
You paid $151. The document says $150.
Yeah, I know. I see that. And maybe I rounded. I'll fix it. But I might have paid $49.50 or something for each of the 3. I don't know how it all worked out, but I've changed it to $151. We'll call it good.
So, okay.
So, I mean, in total, I've paid $191 for my kind of Game Pass subscription this year. But that covers me for the next 3 years, basically.
Yeah. It's such a good, it's the thing that you told me that I was very impressed with is it's not an intro deal. It's, you can do it again.
Yeah. The key is you have to let your subscription lapse in order to be able to do it again, I believe.
Yeah, but that's great. And maybe it won't be available in 2024. But for me, I just turn it off for a month, and I'm not using it constantly, but I do like having it whenever I want it. But I would just let it lapse for a month and then do what you did. The next time, maybe, Xbox Live Gold goes on sale.
Yeah, I mean, I can keep an eye out. It happens like every month. I'll let you know.
Yeah. I really like Xbox Game Pass for PC. You've got Ultimate, so it gives you some other cool benefits like the cloud gaming and some of the other, and you get EA Play included, which I do not because you have Ultimate and I do not. So you get some nice benefits with it. It's the right way to go. The way Chris did it, it's absolutely no doubt in my mind, beyond any argument, the best deal in gaming.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for sure.
Because you paid essentially $50 a year.
Yeah, I mean, it comes out to $4 and change per month.
Yeah, and with all the games, you absolutely would have spent $50 a year purchasing the games. I mean, you spent $45 on Forza, which we can talk about in a second. But like, this is no doubt in my mind saving us money. But also providing what I consider a really nice and convenient service.
Yeah, I'm not, no regrets. I mean, it's definitely a great deal, and it was a great option. Do you want to talk about that Forza charge?
Yeah, so Forza Horizon 5 came out this year, and I think they're doing a very good job in
getting Jason to give them more money.
Getting more money out of us. Okay, so Forza Horizon 5 is included with Xbox Game Pass for PC or for Xbox or Ultimate or whatever you have. It's included. And so I wouldn't have had to pay $1 for Forza Horizon 5. But they had this premium add-on bundle, which is essentially like paying for the deluxe edition of the game in kind of a way. Because you could purchase the Forza Horizon 5 premium edition if you didn't have Xbox Game Pass. But if you do have Xbox Game Pass, you can just purchase the Forza Horizon 5 premium add-on. Which means I still lose access to the game if I don't subscribe, but the likelihood of me not subscribing to Xbox Game Pass is very low. So I purchased the add-on, which gives you like a car pass and all the DLCs, right? It got us early access to the game, but that didn't really matter. The biggest win for me is the car pass and the DLCs are now essentially included. And it was $50. We got 5% off because we're subscribers or whatever, or 10% off or whatever it was. And I don't regret it, but it's definitely going to show that they are very aware that they can get more money out of Xbox Game Pass subscribers by offering this add-on, because I barely hesitated to buy it.
I seem to remember that the early access was a much bigger deal in the moment. It was start playing on Thursday or start playing on the following Tuesday or something. So it was like you can either play it this weekend or not this weekend was kind of the choice.
Yeah, I think the timing there was important for me. But like looking back, like, okay, it really didn't matter that much. Like, and the long-term benefits of it really didn't matter. It definitely added to the immediacy of the purchase. How's that?
Yes, for sure.
I still think that even after the game was released, I would have spent the $45 to buy the premium add-on.
I probably would have too, but I probably wouldn't have done it even maybe in that year. Like I might not have even done it until the first expansion was available.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because right now all we have is kind of two little line items that say access to expansion 1 and access to expansion 2 are coming, and we don't even know what those are.
Right. And yeah, you're probably right. I probably would have waited to buy it, but I probably would have purchased the same bundle when the first expansion.
Yeah, I think I would have too. I mean, I think I did for Forza Horizon 4 or 3 or both. So, I mean, I get it. And that's a fun game. And the expansions so far have been pretty good. That's where they had like the Hot Wheels one for Forza Horizon 3, and they had the Lego one for Forza Horizon 4. So I really don't know what they're going to do now. But I am looking forward to seeing what it is, and we will have access to it when it comes.
Yeah, I nearly 100%ed the Lego world in Forza Horizon 4.
Wow.
I was not as big of a fan of the island one for Forza Horizon 4.
No, that one wasn't great.
No, but I nearly 100%ed the Lego world. I may have actually 100%ed the Lego world. So I liked it a lot.
Wow.
This is a game that we purchased and we spent money on, and that I regret not playing more when it came out, and I regret not playing more now, and I want to play more of it. And Forza Horizon has always been the game that we can like kind of pick up whenever. It's always installed. Forza Horizon 4 was installed all the way up to and through, buying Forza Horizon 5. I have uninstalled Forza Horizon 4 now, but Forza Horizon 5 will just always be installed. It's one of those games that I'm never going to uninstall until Forza Horizon 6 comes out.
So the next line in our document here is Ubisoft. And I don't have anything for Ubisoft, but I think you might, Jason.
Yeah, so Ubisoft is one of those weird ones that like I could make some purchases on some other platforms, but I actually like to buy games on their what I'll call like native platform. So Ubisoft has some really good deals too. They're like super famous for like deeply discounting their games after 1 year. So I took advantage. I actually probably purchased this game a little too early because I did not follow Chris's rule of only purchasing a game when I'm ready to play it. But I got suckered into, it was probably a Black Friday deal or something. I paid $38 for the Immortals Phoenix Rising Gold Edition, which I believe is the highest version, like the highest edition, which comes with all the DLC and everything else. I have watched people play Immortals Phoenix Rising before. I think it is a hilarious, amazing first like single player game, and I really, really want to play it. And I will definitely play it at some point. I have not yet, but I did purchase it in 2021 for for eventually playing it, which for a price that I think it was worth. So that's really the only purchase I made on Ubisoft. I made it directly on their platform. And I guess I wish I would have had time to play it by now. Have you seen this game? I do want to talk about it for a second. Have you seen anyone play Immortals Phoenix Rising?
I have probably watched about 15 minutes of people playing it, and it looks good. I actually really wish that it ran well on the Switch, because it seems for me like kind of like Breath of the Wild, like a perfect kind of Switch kind of a game. I'm wondering if or how well it will run on the Steam Deck when the Steam Deck is a thing. Because it definitely has that kind of travel game, portable, get into it, but not like sit down and do it for hours and hours kind of a thing. I mean, maybe it is. I really haven't played into the story much or like seen much of the story. I haven't played it at all, but things like God of War or things like Uncharted or Horizon or whatever, I'll like play as like a couch game on the big TV, because it's very narrative. And from what you're describing, it sounds like this one is also fairly narrative. And I could do that, but it hasn't really kind of risen to my attention yet.
Yeah, I personally would call this better than Breath of the Wild. I know that some people are going to, throw eggs at my house for that statement, but I think it's better. I think the writing is better. I think the story, the combat, the progression, I think everything about this game is better. And again, I have not played it. I've played a little bit of Breath of the Wild. I've done 2 of the 4 whatever bosses or whatever. This game is funny. It's set in a is it Greek mythology? I think it's Greek mythology. The puzzles are just as good, if not better. Combat is interesting. The difficulty scales really well. Like it's a great game. It's amazing. It's I really want to play it. So even though I've not played it, I recommend it. And if it ever goes on sale, deeply discounted again, you should pick it up. I am a little worried that it won't run on the Steam Deck because it is an Ubisoft game. So technically it's not on the Steam platform. If I installed Windows on my Steam Deck, which I'm still thinking about whether I will do or not, right? Because it comes by default with Linux. I'm thinking about it, but it may run in that capacity. It is a controller game, right? It's a console game, so that shouldn't be a problem. But I agree. This would be a fun kind of Switch-like single player game. I have not spent any other money on Ubisoft this year. There were games that I was tempted to buy. I did not end up buying the Assassin's Creed game, Valhalla. I didn't buy any of the Rainbow Six stuff. I was tempted to, but I didn't. So yeah, just $40 to Ubisoft this year.
I say that I didn't buy anything on the Ubisoft store, but we can talk about it a little bit later. I did buy at least one Ubisoft game this year.
Oh yeah, sure, but not on the store.
Not directly on their store, nor on PC, in fact.
Okay. Oh, I see what happened. Okay, yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah, PC gaming here. PC gaming. All right, so next category is Blizzard, which I am almost a little disappointed I've spent so much money with, because I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the whole thing, but we'll put that aside and not talk about it. And Blizzard, someone got me to buy Vanguard this year, and I bought it on PC.
Yes, we Call of Duty Vanguard is the annual Call of Duty release this year, and we had the whole debate of PC versus PS5 and crossplay and all of this. And in the end, we ended up doing crossplay, and I bought it on PS5, and Jason bought it on PC.
Yeah, and it runs okay. It's fine. It's not, it's whatever. But I actually enjoy it a little bit, dare I say. I haven't played a true first-person shooter in a while, and I'm not bad. I would say I'm not good, but I enjoyed it enough to buy the Battle Pass as well. So I did get it on sale. I think I bought it live on B&A. I was just like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm installing it. So I spent $41 on the game, and I did buy the Battle Pass, which I don't know how much value I'll get out of it, but I still think I have 2 months to go. And you and I have been playing it a little bit. I'm still enjoying it. I think it's fun. So it was a fine purchase.
On the Blizzard side, I didn't have any Call of Duty related purchases, but I did have, of course, World of Warcraft. So this year I had $150 of World of Warcraft, $155 of WoW subscriptions, because that's basically 2 6-month chunks, with the discount that they give you when you do it 6 months at a time. But interestingly, I haven't really played WoW in the past, I don't know, probably at least 3 months, maybe a little bit more. So at the moment, I have active subscription time, but my auto renew is turned off for the first time in a while.
So, okay, can you currently, your auto renew is turned off, but can you currently log into World of Warcraft, or is it currently canceled?
No. So when you cancel a subscription with WoW, you have whatever time you've paid for. So I think I paid through I don't know, the second week of February or something like that.
Okay, but it won't auto renew.
It will not auto renew. I will not be charged. I will not be able to play the game, but I'm also not playing the game anyway. So that's not really a big deal.
Why? I mean, I guess I don't really have to ask, but for the listeners, maybe would you care to explain why you're not renewing? Because WoW has always been this game that you kind of paid for 6 months at a time and logged into every now and then, and kind of always. I mean, from what I understand, always kind of kept a subscription going, but maybe it wasn't your primary game. It seems to have been demoted even past that, though.
Yeah, I mean, in the last couple of years, what you said is correct. I did actually skip a couple. I was basically playing every other expansion for a little while. So, I played Cataclysm, then I skipped Mists of Pandaria, then I played Warlords of Draenor, and then I skipped Legion. Some would say those are all the bad ones that I played, and then I skipped all the good ones, but put that aside. Since Battle for Azeroth, I have had a kind of consistent subscription, a constant 6 months at a time subscription. And the reason that I do it 6 months at a time is both because it's a deal per month if you do that, and also because then I'm not kind of constantly being reminded that I'm paying for this thing that I'm not using, and feeling like I need to, I have to play WoW because that's the game that I've chosen, I'm paying for, so I've got to play it. So that all kind of is my own psychology there a little bit. But right now I've decided to cancel because we're not playing at all. The group that I was playing with is barely playing. They've all switched over to Final Fantasy 14, which is something I've never played and never really gotten into, and probably is for the best.
I know. I every day that goes by, I make the decision again not to try it. but one of these days, it's going to happen.
Yeah, the bummer about Final Fantasy 14 is because they had some new expansion come out and they're very popular right now. They've actually suspended their legendary free trial. That's very, whatever the copy is, Heavensward and all of these things.
If I got in before they did that, does that mean that I already have an account and I already have access to that? Or
I don't think you can log in without a sub right now, is basically the understanding that I have, but you can try. I don't know.
Wait, you need a sub to play that game?
Yeah, it's $15 a month.
No kidding. I didn't know that. I thought it was more like the Guild Wars model.
No. You have to buy the expansions and pay the monthly. It's the WoW model. Absolutely.
No kidding. Okay. All right. Well, I might try it then, because if I only have to pay for 1 month, I know that at least I'll be able to log in.
Well, there's still login queues from what I understand, because my friends who, formerly of WoW are now playing Final Fantasy. are always complaining about how they are stuck in queues and it takes forever to kind of get in the game. I don't know if that's really such a problem anymore. Like maybe it's getting better, but I know for a while it was.
There's been a lot of news on this game lately, particularly around more servers and all that. We should talk about this on an episode. We should write this down.
Okay.
Because I want to talk about Final Fantasy because it's one of those things that goes through my head every day.
Yeah, we should talk about Final Fantasy in general, like both the regular games and the MMOs.
Sure. Yeah. But everyone switched, so you're just like, I'm not playing it anymore, so I'll just cancel.
I think it's that, and it's also what we're about to talk about next, which is Guild Wars has an expansion coming out in sometime in the next couple months.
Oh, good point. The timing did line up. You're right.
And also, I've been playing more, like if I'm going to pop into an MMO and pop around for a little bit, I've been doing that more in Guild Wars. And I'll blame you for that because, you know, you're kind of usually there. And so it's an easy way to be like, oh yeah, we can hop in and do something or whatever. And actually at the current moment, I've been playing a lot of Dota, as I've mentioned on the show. So in terms of like things that fill time, I don't need the kind of grind of World of Warcraft. And also it kind of stopped being like fun. Like it wasn't something that I was like doing a lot or enjoying a lot. And like, if I really wanted to play WoW, I would probably want to be in a, you know, low tier progression rating group. Like that would be my ideal, is like raid night is Tuesday and we go and we try to get more bosses and we, you know, bang our heads against this until we succeed. That's fun for me, but that requires, you know, a schedule. It requires a guild. It requires all sorts of, you know, commitment that I'm not necessarily willing to do for World of Warcraft at this point. So I'm just like, I'm good.
Have you ever done that for World of Warcraft? Like, had you ever been in a, you know, committed raid weekly thing?
Yeah, I did actually in early BFA, I think, and then also in WoD, I had a raiding, like a friends who had a guild, and I joined their guild, and it was actually pretty fun. Like I had this, you know, raid night was, I forget, I think it was Tuesdays and Sundays, and it was really fun because it was a very friendly group. It wasn't, you know, nobody was really toxic about it or anything like that. But then I just kind of, I fell off a little bit and then like stopped playing altogether, skipped Legion. And then when I came back, they were kind of also a little bit upside down. So I didn't really have that same group to go back to. And so I just never did. And my current group is much more like, oh, we're just going to pug everything forever because we cannot possibly hold to a schedule, which is kind of crazy. So that I just don't have that kind of access at the moment. And I don't really want to go like just find some random guild. Like I would much rather have friends I know in real life that have a guild and play with them, or at least, you know, have a couple of people I know that are kind of anchoring the social side of the guild stuff, because I don't really just want to be another person in this random internet guild. Like that's not what I want to do.
Are you saying you play games to play with other people?
I play certain games to play with other people, but yeah, generally I play games to play with other people.
I am excited by this development.
Why? Why is that?
Because you know, you mentioned that the Guild Wars 2 expansion is coming out, and you're right. And I hope that it brings you back a little bit more seriously than it has. And that happens to be our next topic.
Yes, Guild Wars 2. That's the next thing on our PC spending list.
I pre-ordered, and please don't at me, the expansion, and I am happy about it. The expansion should be coming out February 2022, late February 2022. I'm hoping it's the exact same day as Destiny 2, which would be February 22nd, but I doubt it. We're getting a little nervous that they're going to delay it again. But the expansion, I bought the super duper version, which came with gems and all kinds of other stuff, and for $80. So,
surprisingly, I did the same. So
it was a good deal.
It was mostly for the gems for me because I wasn't necessarily interested in buying gems straight out. But it was a good way, like it was a good deal on gems, and you were gonna spend $40 on the game anyway. I think it was. And you got a couple other things, and I don't remember what they were. I think they were mostly cosmetic. But
yeah, I don't remember. But it ended up being like you got $40 of gems for $20. I think if you like actually applied the value of everything. So it ended up being the right. It was a good deal. And I use the gems almost immediately.
I still have a few, I think. I use them a bunch, but then the other thing that we have in the Guild Wars category here is that on Black Friday, they had a sale on gem cards. So like buying gems in kind of $25 increments. So I think we both picked up some of those.
The gems never go on sale. Let's be clear about this. They never go on sale. So the fact that they were 20% off was huge. Because what you do is, like, you never buy anything from the gem store itself until the thing goes on sale. Like, you never pay full price for anything in the gem store. But then for the actual gems themselves to go on sale, it's another 20% off. So I was all over that. And that was a Black Friday deal, and I was super pumped about that. I also bought some gems at full price, which is why my number's a little higher than yours. I ended up spending in 2021 $234 on gems, 100 of that being at full price, and 120 of that plus tax being from Amazon at 20% off.
My number for that was only $60 because I only did the Black Friday deal. So I bought 3 $25 gem cards for $20 each.
In my defense,
go on.
I spent roughly $300 in Guild Wars this year, 2021. Roughly. Around, I can't do the math that fast. Maybe you can.
Yeah, it's about 300, yeah.
About $300. I played 400 hours.
My goodness.
So I think it was fine. I'm good with it. I'm happy with I'm okay with the spend.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're fine. We go back to my Dota number, right? $200 for Dota. Like, that's kind of my benchmark there. I'm not judging. It's fine. Yeah,
that's essentially what I did. Yeah, I bought an expansion and I spent $230 on gems. Like it was my game this year. It still is my game right now. And I spent a lot of money on it. If you want to play Guild Wars, the expansion comes out in February, and you can buy all of the expansions together for a discounted price. And it's a great game. Hit me up.
Yeah, just let Jason know, because he knows how to get you, I don't know, the best deal for buying into Guild Wars.
Yeah, and I'll help you out. We'll do all kinds of stuff.
Our next category is kind of the grab bag. It's the other category for PC spending. So this is all of just the things that aren't kind of consistent, or things maybe that both of us didn't have, or like both of us kind of don't have an experience with. So I don't know how you want to go through this. I guess top to bottom, left to right.
Yeah, you just maybe do yours, and then I'll do mine.
So for me, the first thing that I had listed, because it was the first thing that I did in the year, was Minecraft for $27. I bought the whatever the edition is, the Java edition of Minecraft for $27, which I was kind of disappointed to find out is in Game Pass now. I was frustrated that it wasn't in Game Pass before, like when I paid these $27, but now it is in Game Pass. And for as much as I didn't play Minecraft, I did not really get my money's worth out of that one.
Yeah, I like. Let's go back to the fact that I'm surprised that you never owned Minecraft before that point. Yeah, no, I see that. You did not end up enjoying it. I don't really enjoy Minecraft. It's like one of those staples though that like almost everyone has to own, because everyone freaking plays Minecraft. And we were just going through a phase. Our friend group was going through a phase with Minecraft, and it kind of convinced you to get it. And if wherever the store you bought it from had a 2-hour return policy, you probably would have taken advantage of it.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I would have definitely done that. Next on my list is WoW Tools. So we talked about this last year. I pay for Wowhead premium subscription, which I need to make sure I've canceled, because the ads on the Wowhead website are oppressive.
Oppressive.
That is a $9 sanity spend. And it is well worth it if you use Wowhead a bunch while you're kind of working through new stuff in World of Warcraft. I'm not doing that anymore, and I can generally put up with it and deal with it in the kind of ad block universe to get that down to a manageable level, but it's still not great, because a lot of the ads that they have are like ads for their own stuff, which doesn't get blocked by ad blockers. I know you can do it custom, and I know that there's ways to get around it, but it was easier for me to pay the money and support them, because they do actually offer a service to people that play WoW. So I was paying for that. I think I've canceled it now, but that was only $9. No big deal.
Yeah, we talked about it last year. I think that's something that, like, yeah, sure, it's a convenience thing for the ads, but it's also like, hey, you're supporting someone that's, giving you a tool. I'm actually really close to giving some support to Guild Wars 2 efficiency in the same way, right? It's a tool that you use when you play Guild Wars. It's got all kinds of stuff, and I don't know, it's $10 a year or whatever. Same kind of thing. And they're not as oppressive with the ads, but I feel like supporting them, right? It's a tool you use when you play a game that you enjoy, and it makes it a better experience, and it's $10 a year. You can't argue that.
Yeah, no big deal. Speaking of ways that, I guess I should have put this in the Microsoft section, but speaking of kind of ways that Game Pass can get you to spend more money, this year Sea of Thieves came out with their Pirates of the Caribbean kind of content expansion that was free. But as part of that, they came out with a whole bunch of cosmetics for different, Jack Sparrow related things and all of that. And I definitely got caught up in that, and I don't regret it. I bought some Pirates of the Caribbean stuff. I bought ancient coins in Sea of Thieves for $35. I don't think I've spent all of them yet. But that was kind of the biggest pack that you could buy that was kind of reasonable, and it gets you, bonuses if you buy more. It's the whole currency exchange thing. It's frustrating, but kind of part of doing business there. So I did buy $35 worth of Sea of Thieves coins so that I could get Pirates of the Caribbean stuff in the game.
Yeah, I support this purchase.
and I mean, it's, yeah, I will count it as a vote of confidence that the Sea of Thieves people should do more kind of tie-ins and content stuff without going like full Fortnite, but like they should look for ways to be clever and kind of mix it into their world. So good job, Sea of Thieves. I like it.
Their battle pass is still garbage.
Their battle pass is still awful, and they really need to rework that. And we've talked about that a lot, and I won't rehash it here, but oh my gosh, fix the battle pass.
Notice that you spent $35 on themed cosmetics because you wanted them, but no one I don't know that anyone in our friend group has ever purchased the battle pass.
No, and the funny thing was when I got these coins, I know I said I wasn't going to talk about this, but now we're talking about it. When I got these coins, I was like, oh, good, I'll get, $35 worth, which is, I don't know, however many it is, 5,000 coins or whatever it is. And I'll use some of them for the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff. And then that'll be great because I will have already spent the money. So it'll make it really easy to justify, spending 1,000 of these little ancient coin things on the battle pass if they make it.
And you
good.
Just can't do it, can you?
And they've had 3 more seasons since that first one that we complained about, and none of them have been good. They've all been the same model of like, here's a bunch of stuff that's free, but it's kind of, marginal. And then here's 10 specific levels that come with some bonus thing if you pay us money. And it's like,
and you don't earn them. The whole point of the battle pass is to feel like you have something to earn.
No, it is. You have to get to those levels on the battle pass. You don't just get the stuff.
You used to just get the premium stuff.
Okay, well, they space it out, but it's 10 levels apart, and like I don't. They're so far apart. Like Rocket League does it where they kind of flip it, where they give you something on every level, and then if you're not paying for it, like every 7 levels you get something, and that encourages you to buy the thing.
Exactly, that's the way they should do it. Absolutely.
But I think I don't know, maybe it's just a level of like not cluttering. Like they don't have that many cosmetics, but they do. They have 1 million cosmetics in that game. So I don't know what's going on, but Sea of Thieves, if you can fix the Battle Pass business model, I will probably buy it every single season.
They also don't let you earn the next Battle Pass by playing the Battle Pass.
True. That is a bummer.
Which almost everyone else does.
Yeah, Call of Duty does that, and I'm almost done. Like I almost have Call of Duty like earned back so that I could get the next season for free if I wanted to.
They just don't make their battle pass compelling, and we're never going to spend money on it. And you'll continue to see it in our yearly breakdown that we never pay for the Sea of Thieves battle pass. So maybe they'll fix it. Maybe they're happy with how much money. I mean, I don't know, whatever. All right, we can move on.
Yeah, I'm just like doing some breathing exercises over here, getting ready to like calm down so we can keep going.
It's one of those games that I want to support. Like I want to give them money. You more than me. Like you play it more than I do, and I think enjoy it. But even when I look at it, like it's one of those things that I buy the battle pass for Call of Duty Vanguard, and I buy the battle pass for Rocket League almost every single time. It's a purchase I'm willing to make, and it's so bad.
Yeah.
Cool. Glad we got that out of our system. Again.
The last thing on my list in the other category is a very recent purchase. which I made in kind of the holiday season of 2021 with the very good Epic Game Store coupon where they give you $10 off anything of, I think, $15 or more, which, takes a $15 game down to $5. In this case, I took a game that was already on sale. So Inscription is the game I'm talking about. It's a $20 game normally. It was on sale for $16 for 20% off. And then you take another $10 off of that. I got it for $6. That game is worth way more than $6 if you like deck building card games like Battlers. That game is very, very good. I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to give too much away, but it is a very good game, and I would highly recommend it. It's Inscription with a Y, so INSCRYPTION.
I watched you play it. I think it would be solid. I don't know that I would enjoy it, but yeah, I echo it's a very good game. Interestingly enough, I did not take advantage of any of the Epic coupons this year. Again, I have continued my trend of never buying anything on Epic since Satisfactory. Not that it's a point of pride. It's just that I just don't care to buy anything. There's nothing that I've ever been inclined enough to buy on Epic over Steam, and nothing has ever been on such a sale or been such a hype or anything like that I wanted to buy it. So I still haven't purchased anything on Epic since Satisfactory, but that deal that you talk about, right? Anything over $15, get $10 off. That's a good deal. It's a good deal that you should take advantage of if there's something over there that you want. I think it's still available, maybe. Probably not.
Probably not by the time we publish this. But it comes back basically every time Steam has a big sale, like the Steam Fall Sale or Steam Christmas Sale or Steam Summer Sale or whatever, Epic basically matches, and they have this coupon. So if there's something that you have an eye on, definitely take a look at least at Epic. Not saying that you're going to find it, not saying it's going to be a great deal, but it's always an option.
Okay, my other category is the ones that I'm least proud of, except for two. I did, at the start of the year, we talked about buying Valheim. I did pay for a dedicated server for Valheim for the group. I put $20 on here. I'm pretty sure that some of my friends gave me some money to cover some of that $20. So it's probably not full price. I'm pretty sure that almost everyone gave me a few bucks. But it was on my credit card statement for $20, so that's what I put down here. And then I did pay for a Space Engineers server near the end of the year. I actually purchased or paid the invoice for the Space Engineers server on December 31st, 2021. So it did get included here. Again, some friends gave me some money for that. So I do have $13 listed because that's what it actually cost. But, a couple friends threw me a few bucks to kind of split that cost. So not full price there, but it goes to show that I do I play games to play with other people, and dedicated servers are a way to do that. And so that no one has to host it. So I do like paying for those. I like getting them right away so that, it kind of encourages people to get on and play together. Otherwise there's a little bit of friction to play these multiplayer games. So as soon as there's, any kind of inkling of, hey, we want to play this, I just go ahead and do it. It's worth the $10 to me to get everyone together on the same server. And, most of the time we only pay for 1 month. In both cases, Valheim and Space Engineers, we're only going to end up paying for 1 month. And we probably only end up using it for 2 weeks. But it's fine. It's worth it to me. I like being on the same server. I like playing together. So those are 2 purchases in the other category that I don't regret.
Okay, that's 2. There's 4 things listed here.
Yeah, there's 2 other things in this category for me. I did pay for Eve this year. I think we talked about this earlier in the year, me and you, where I was playing Eve and I was telling you, hey, wait, don't purchase a subscription to Eve. I will let you know whether I am staying into it. I was really getting into Eve for 2 months.
No, not 2 months, 2 weeks, maybe 6 weeks.
Okay. I was really getting into Eve for a little bit. I was doing planetary control and I was leveling up stuff and I was really into it. It was, it was March 2021. It was, oh man, the whole pandemic is still going on another year later. And, I hadn't gotten my vaccine yet and all that stuff, right? It was still anyway. Eve was one of those outlets for me that I was utilizing. I did pay for 2 accounts for 2 months, so it ended up coming to $60. And I would say I regret 30 of those $60. I probably subscribed for 1 more month than I should have.
I was ready. I was looking forward to it. I was looking forward to jumping in and like getting back into Eve, because like I enjoy parts of Eve and I enjoy Eve a lot more with people. But Eve is definitely one of those things that is hard to kind of stick with for me. And it's not a very sticky game because it's kind of like samey, I guess. I don't know.
Here's the thing with Eve. We have never, every time we get into Eve, we're like, we need to join a large corporation with other people that encourage us to come play, right? Like they have scheduled PvP events or they have scheduled mining events or whatever. We've never successfully pulled that off. We've never become part of a larger group. And I think that's the only way to consistently play Eve.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's definitely the way to go.
The last thing on my list, actually, for PC gaming is one that no one will be surprised to hear, because I am a fan of this game and I play it every now and then. I slightly regret the purchase of the Warframe Octavia Prime bundle because I bought the highest tier, because I always do, because I'm a sucker. But I spent $150 on Warframe this year. It was near the beginning of the year. Octavia is just, okay, so Octavia is the Warframe that is music based. And she's a really good Warframe. And I liked the cosmetics that came, like I was suckered in. And I really like the Warframe, and I do like to support that developer. I've probably played 5 hours of Warframe in 2021.
Oof.
So was it a purchase that I regret? Like, I will end up getting the value out of that purchase eventually, because there will be a time when I play Warframe again. I really do like the Octavia Warframe. I don't know that I needed to make that purchase. But whatever. Fine. I used to buy the Prime bundles way more often. So 1 in 2021 compared to, let me bring up the notes, more than 1 in 2020.
No, in 2020 it was none. In 2019, I think it would be.
2019. Yeah, I spent way too much. I probably purchased 2 or 3 of them because I think they come out every 3 months. So yeah, whatever. I really just need to not go to the website. But I still see the content on YouTube. I still watch a lot of Warframe content on YouTube. So I'm still kind of involved with the community. I don't know. Whatever. I don't want to talk about it too much, but I probably didn't need to spend that money.
I pass no judgment. Again, see Dota. I am, there are certain games that you have kind of a soft spot for, and I totally understand that. And for me, that's Dota. For you, that's Warframe. And you just gotta know that.
Yep. That's the end of the PC list.
Yep, that's it.
If I may, for those of you that have been punching away at your calculators, I'll do you a favor and just do it for you. My total for 2020, so that was last year, not the one we were just talking about, was $1,066. I'm just going to get rid of the cents because it doesn't matter. In 2021, I did spend more. So if you add up everything we just talked about, I spent $1,263 on PC games in 2021.
So as I said before, if you had asked me whether I had spent more or less in 2021 than I did in 2020, I would have said that I spent less. However, the numbers don't lie, and they say that I spent $1,046 in 2021 as compared to $911 on PC games in 2020. Now, we're going to talk in a minute about hardware and consoles, and that's where my number really swings for the year, because if you remember in 2020, I was fortunate enough to actually buy a PS5 like on launch day. So that added, $500 of console to my spending, and I don't have that cost this year. So it's a little bit less, but overall, I was about $100 more, almost $150 more in 2021 than in 2020 for PC games.
Yeah, and I was about $200 more. Which again, I'm a little like we can talk about conclusion here on PC games. I am surprised about. I think I agree with you. If you would have asked me, did I spend more or less in 2021? We were actually able to go out and do things a little bit in 2021 and basically none in 2020. So I feel like I would have spent more in 2020 by, just the sheer fact that I think if you looked at hours played, it was probably more in 2020. I mean, I played Assassin's Creed Odyssey for 100 hours in 2020. Just a single player game that I normally don't have time to play. So I think that I am surprised. I am surprised I spent more. I think part of it for me was that I was less focused in 2021, which tends to mean that I buy more various things and spend money in different places rather than kind of focus on one game, which leads to a higher number. Maybe maybe that's how I'm thinking about it, justifying it. But I was surprised to see a higher number.
For me, I'm going to say that I had a rebuilding year because I did do that Game Pass trick, right, which will result in a lower spending in next year because I won't have any spending on Game Pass. And I mean, that's sort of canceled out by not having EA Play Pro. But I did spend a lot more on Guild Wars than I did in kind of the previous year. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. I'm not sure for me what kind of changed, like specifically, but I think it has to do with Guild Wars expansion because that's probably the biggest thing. Oh, and because I had gotten lucky with the timing of the WoW subscriptions. So I ended up not having $80 worth of WoW I had $80 more worth of WoW in 21 than in 20. So I think those are kind of all of my stuff is cyclical and kind of luck based there. But I'm expecting, okay, so prediction time. I'm expecting 2022 to be less than 2021. I
would agree with that. I
for
will
PC,
that.
Specifically for PC.
Yep. I will second that. I think I'm going to spend a lot of time in Guild Wars, and I still have gems left. Like I don't need to buy more. The expansion is already purchased. I have a feeling I'm going to spend a lot of time in Guild Wars, probably the first couple of months of maybe Q1 and Q2. So hopefully I'm not spending a whole lot of money in other places. I think I'm in a really good position right now where I have some single player games saved up. And I agree. I think I'm going to be, I would go as far as to say that I will be 20 to 30% lower in 2022.
Wow. Okay.
I probably am wrong, but
we should remember that the Steam Deck comes out in 2022 and that will prompt a bit more.
Does that
spending.
count as PC gaming or console gaming?
I think that counts as hardware, which we're going to get to in a second. I think that that counts as a console, but I'm saying that by the things that you buy to play on the Steam Deck, though, are still PC games.
Oh, good point. All right. Maybe. I think I already own a lot of good Steam Deck games, though. Like, I'm excited to play a lot of the stuff I already own. That's part of the value of the Steam. Well, now I'm advertising for the Steam Deck, but that's part of the value of it is you get to play this library of games that you already have 500 games in. I mean, maybe they don't all work, but like you already have a library for this console.
I know, and it's great, and that's going to be great. I just feel like there's going to be something that comes out around the time the Steam Deck does that's going to be like the thing, like the killer app for the Steam Deck, and it's not already in your library. So I'm just predicting that may occur. I don't know what it is. I don't have any predictions on what it will be. I just feel like there will be at least one. I will say this. There will be at least one game that you and or I buy because of the Steam Deck that we would not have otherwise bought on PC.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. That's totally fair. Is it time to talk about the last section and then we'll maybe do a full wrap up at the end?
Yep. I think that it would be good to go on to the hardware and what we've labeled as the hardware/PlayStation category this year.
As we often talk about on the show, like there's really no reason for, in my opinion, there's really three pieces of gaming like environments that you need, right? You need a PC, you need a PlayStation, and you need a Switch. And those are like the three areas that, you kind of need to capture all of the points now, right? You don't need an Xbox anymore. Anything else is kind of emulatable or comes out on PC eventually. You know, and I think that both of us, you know, I don't know that maybe you've spent a little bit on Switch this year and that you'll talk about, but I don't really spend any money on Switch. So, you know, we talked about PC and because that's our primary area, but we do kind of like to separate out a little bit the hardware and other areas. Because it is important. It is part of the gaming world, but it's not my primary kind of way to play.
Yeah, before we jump into the PlayStation, you just mentioned the Switch and buying things on the Switch. I am now remembering, this is the category I missed, that I did buy some stuff on the Switch, I think. I don't know what it was. It wasn't much, but I do that with like credit card reward points to get Nintendo gift cards. So like I can't even tell you the last time that I like added money to my Nintendo account. And I don't know how much money I spent. It's probably in the order of $20.
Yeah, all right. That's fine.
So I'm just going to add that as kind of a margin of error because I don't know. I don't even know how. I'd have to go like hunt through emails or something. I don't even know how to get the list from Nintendo on that stuff because their online stuff is not great. So put me down for, I don't know, $20 to $50. Maybe it's $50. Maybe it's $20. I have no idea.
Yeah. We're less strict on this area just because it's not, you know, yeah. Last year in 2020, Chris bought a PS5. This year in 2021, Jason bought a PS5.
Hey, there we go. Congratulations.
I did buy the cheaper version. I bought the digital version, which we've talked about it on a previous show. So mine was $100 less than Chris's, but huge expense there, massive. But it'll be around for years and years and years. So, with that, I did buy Returnal on sale. I think it was Black Friday sale, so I bought it for $50 with plus tax. And I did do the I think it was on Amazon, the 12 months of PlayStation Plus for $40 plus tax. In that, and that was it. That was all my hardware spend for the whole year. I did not buy anything for Switch. Nothing else. So my total for the year comes to a boring $526.50 with PlayStation 5. I have played the PlayStation 5. I've set it up. I've played Returnal. I've played Astro's Playroom, which is surprisingly good.
Yeah, it's a great little game. It's so good.
It's a great game. It's so good. And I have claimed the PlayStation Plus. I plan on using some of the free games that come along with it, notably Horizon Zero Dawn, because the new one is coming out here soon. So it's another single player game to add to the list. But yeah, no, I'm happy with it. I wasn't in a rush to get one. It didn't have to be in 2021, but it all worked out. And, that's that.
For me, the number is less, but the quantity of things is more because I did not buy the console in 2021. So the big number for me is $241 or so. And in there, I've got about 8 games that I've bought for the PS5 this year. So I'll just kind of go top to bottom. Ratchet & Clank, the newest one, Rift Apart, is a great game. It's a very good 3D platformer. It looks very, very good. Like, I mean, they always look good, but this one on the PS5 looks, like a Pixar movie. It's great. Returnal, I also picked up for $50 on sale over the summer, and I've played that a whole bunch and still not beaten it. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So this was the Ubisoft game that I had alluded to earlier that I had bought. And similar to Jason, I have not played it. So I bought Assassin's Creed Valhalla when I got the PS5 last year. I really wish I had waited because I haven't played it that much. But I was starting to play it a little bit in the early summer, and then they had kind of a summer sale on the PlayStation, and I bought the gold edition of Assassin's Creed Odyssey because it was $25, and I was like, oh, I'm enjoying this Viking one. Maybe I'll enjoy the Greece one as well. I had played like a demo of the Egypt one and didn't really like it. So I bought Odyssey. I have not touched it. And it's just kind of sitting there. So I will get to it at some point, I hope. But that's kind of my like bought it, didn't play it kind of a thing.
Yeah, let me plug here for a second. I've watched you play Valhalla and I have played Odyssey. I think Odyssey is better.
Okay, noted. I want to play more Valhalla, but I've also heard that Valhalla kind of gets a little bit grindy and boring after you get kind of out of the starting area. I'm still in the starting area and I've played it for probably 10 hours or so. Or less, maybe. I don't know. I've been trying to like 100% that whole starting area, which is a fool's errand, I think. But yes, as I continue to play it, I if it gets boring, I will definitely probably hop over to Odyssey if I kind of get back in the Assassin's Creed kind of range of things.
Yeah, and choose the girl because it's more interesting.
Okay. Moving on, I bought, I think it's Kena. I don't know. It's Kena. I think it's Kena, Bridge of Spirits. Kena? Bridge of Spirits? I don't know. Anyway, that game is from Ember Labs. It is another really good, well-rendered, very nice animation game. It's a kind of a third-person action game, I would say. It's got some interesting kind of mechanics to it.
This looks really cool.
Light puzzling. Yeah, I mean, it's a cool game. It's neat. I haven't played it a bunch. I got it kind of on Black Friday around that time, and then I've played it for 1 or 2 sessions. So I probably only got 4 hours in it. But I'm looking forward to playing it some more.
It's in the genre of Breath of the Wild or Immortals Phoenix Rising. I mean, it looks like a cartoony but really well rendered single player action story game.
Yeah, that's a pretty good explanation of it. The one thing I will say about it is that's really jarring is that they have this really good rendering. They do a really good job, rendering all of the stuff. And this is a game that came out on PS4 and PS5. So you have these really great, gameplay scenes, and then they go to cutscenes, and the cutscenes are all pre-rendered video, and I don't understand why. Because the gameplay is just as good as these cutscenes in general, I would say. And it actually, you can see some video compression artifacts when it plays back the videos. And I'm you guys could just render this using the PS5 and just go from there. You don't need to, do this whole video cutover thing anymore because the console is just that good. And that's how Ratchet and Clank does it. And that's how Uncharted has always done it. They don't use video cutscenes. They just render it all in engine. And I kind of wish they had done that in this case.
It is on Epic Game Store now.
Yes, yeah, on PC it's on Epic. That's true.
Yeah, no, I think you've shown me this game before. I will add this to my someday, in the next 50 years list.
You could get it with your $10 Epic coupon.
I could, but then I would have another single player game that I've paid for and haven't played yet.
Just quickly rounding out the PlayStation games, I did buy Call of Duty Vanguard on the PlayStation and bought the Battle Pass, so that's another $65 or so because I got a deal. I bought the first Tomb Raider game, not the first Tomb Raider game, but the Tomb Raider with no subtitle of kind of the most recent trilogy of Tomb Raider games because I had the other two from PlayStation Plus, and I wanted to have the whole trilogy so that I could play through them all. Speaking of single player action games with a story. I've played an afternoon of that first game, and it was fine, but it definitely makes you just be I should just stop playing this and play Uncharted because Uncharted is just a better version of this. That was only $3, so I don't feel like I've really lost anything. But I've heard that story gets really good. At least in the beginning of the first game, it kind of wasn't there yet. Then again, Uncharted, if you go back and you play the first game on the remastered collection on the PS4, that game came out at the very beginning of the PS3 era, and it really shows, and it's very clunky. So do not judge your Uncharted judgments based on Uncharted 1 because it's bad. So this may be a similar situation.
Is Tom Holland in the Uncharted games?
No, Tom Holland is not in the Uncharted games. Nolan North is in the Uncharted games. Again, Nolan North being the voice of the human male in Guild Wars 2.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good point. You tell me this every time, and I'm surprised by it every time.
You should play... So, speaking of the PlayStation Collection, you should play Uncharted 4. It is so well done. It's very good.
No, I plan on it. Just add it to the list of single-player games that I do not have time for. I plan on it. It's on the list.
Great.
Immortals Phoenix Rising is first, though.
Ah, man.
Finishing Assassin's Creed Odyssey is first.
All right, so in 2029, when Jason gets around to playing Uncharted 4, we'll revisit
and Uncharted
this.
7 is out.
Yeah.
And they've actually replaced him with Tom Holland at that point.
Yes. The reason that we keep talking about Tom Holland is because Tom Holland, as we mentioned in the Spider-Man spoiler cast, is playing Nathan Drake in the movie that comes out in, I think, February. So I expect that movie is going to be great.
The Uncharted movie.
The Uncharted movie, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. I didn't mean to derail there. I did mean to derail there.
Last thing on my list is a recent purchase, a Black Friday purchase of Guardians of the Galaxy, the game, like another single player action story game that came out in the fall, and it was only $25 on a super good sale because it came out for 60 or 70 and it was already down to 25. I think the game is like the story is supposed to be pretty good. I'm not sure if the gameplay is great, but I do like the Guardians of the Galaxy kind of universe and the story and all of that. So this one is very pointedly single player. It's not like the Avengers game that got in trouble for being kind of live servicey. So this one like is definitely only single player. So I'm that gives me hope, and that's why I'm kind of interested in playing this one. And I wasn't interested in playing Avengers, but it has all of the kind of different. It's the same thing of that Avengers did, where it's like a different set of voice actors and characters and faces and stuff. So it's not Chris Pratt and whoever else in the Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'm a little bit nervous that that's going to take me out of it, but I'm interested to try it.
Yeah, and finally you did not have to pay for PlayStation Plus this year.
Correct. Yeah, I had paid it from last year through I think summer of 2022. So I need to check that and make sure that I actually don't need to go renew it here pretty soon. But yeah, I did not have to pay for PlayStation Plus. And with all of those games that I just mentioned, I was about $240. In 2020, my PlayStation spending was about $800. And now I'm closer to $250.
Yeah, and it'll probably stay there or even lower now that you don't have to buy a PS5 anymore.
I don't know about that. So I was just going to, I talked about kind of predictions on the PC side of what we would spend on. I think that for me, the PS5 spending is going to be up in 2022. The reason I say that is because Gran Turismo 7 comes out in like 2 weeks, which I am kind of a sucker for the Gran Turismo games occasionally. Like I get them every once in a while. I played Gran Turismo, 2 on the PS1. And then I think I played Gran Turismo 4 on the PS2 or 3. I really do kind of enjoy those like the standard kind of driving simulator Gran Turismo games. And I like them better than Forza, and I don't exactly know why. Because I had played Forza Motorsport on Game Pass, and it was not the same for me as it was on the PlayStation. I don't. Is it
PlayStation only, Gran Turismo?
It is. Yes. So Gran Turismo is like PlayStation only, and Forza is Microsoft only. So, Xbox and PC. So there are no Gran Turismo games on the PC.
I'd be willing to try it because I agree with you that Forza Motorsport is not scratching the itch for me. So I might try it with you.
Yeah, and they've I'm sure that they have better online now. I know the last time they kind of tried to do online multiplayer, it wasn't great. But it's straight up like no gimmicks, like racing and like pit stops and like the whole bit.
All right.
I distinctly remember being in like middle school or high school or something and like signing myself up to do like the 100-lap challenge of some raceway. And like you have to like change your tires and you get this little thing where they're like blue and then they're green and then they're yellow and then they're red. And like they wear and they drive better when they're, worn in a little bit, but they drive really bad when they're too worn. And it's an interesting kind of different kind of racing game. So I'm looking forward to that one. Also, Horizon Forbidden West comes out in, I think, March. And there's also Stray, which was announced as a 2021 game that got pushed. I don't know when it's coming out, but that'll probably be a day one-ish buy for us. Stray is the game about the cat, where you play as the cat in a city full of robots.
You going to do it? You're going to get it?
I think I don't know. My wife is interested in seeing this game because she really likes cats. However, she has already warned me that if the cat is able to be injured or die, that she does not want to see this game. So I need to like watch some playthroughs or something, or like get the developers on Twitter and be like, are the cats safe in this game? Because otherwise it will just be bad.
That game looks weirdly interesting to me as well.
Yeah, it's like it's a world building game, I think. Like, I don't know. There's a city with the robots and you play as the cat, and then I don't know. It does look like this. The atmosphere seems like it's going to be an interesting one. So I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what that is. There's also, if you believe people, which I'm not sure that you should, God of War is supposed to come out towards the tail end of 2022.
Oh, that'd be an instant buy too. You're right. This is going to be a bad year.
So like I'm thinking like there's probably like 4 or 5 kind of AAA games that are coming out for the PS5 next year, and so I'm probably going to buy them mostly at full price. So I could definitely see myself spending $300 on PS5 games next year.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'll maintain that if they are not PlayStation exclusives, I will not buy them on PlayStation. But man, you just said at least 3, right? The God of War, Horizon, and Gran Turismo that I'm at least interested in. And with 2 of them being almost instant buys. Maybe you're right. Man. Okay, well, I guess not that I have to budget for that, but
well, we'll see. I mean, it'll make this roundup interesting a year from now.
God of War is one of those games that you just like, I don't care what you're doing right now, you drop everything and you play God of War.
Yeah, you actually played through all of God of War in like a week when the other one came out. I did not. Like, it took me a while to kind of get it and play it and all of that. But then once I was playing it, it was one of those games where it's like, I would like to get back to this and actually keep playing it, which for single player story games is not always the case. No, it is one of those ones that is gripping and you want to keep going. It just came out on PC for any of those you that have not played it or don't have a PlayStation. Great game. Highly recommend. If you don't have to play any of the previous ones. Just pick up the latest one on Steam. Great game. It's been getting great reviews also. Like that port has been getting rave reviews.
Yes. Yeah, no, I have seen nothing but positive things.
I would say it's pretty good on the PS5 also. Like you can download it through the PlayStation Collection, so you don't have to like deal with discs and all that, but like it's looks good. Like on I did download it. It has I think a performance patch for PS5. So if you want to revisit it before the next one comes out, just to even run around and kind of like do the harpies or do the end game content, it does look very good on the PS5.
Okay, well, that is hardware and PlayStation. I am going to give my total, which if you add everything together for all of the gaming purchases that I could have found this year, I'm sitting at $1,790.27. $1,790.27.
Yes, and I am sitting at something around $1,312.70. So $1,300 for me. So the difference of that is basically PS5, I think.
Yeah, pretty close. It's also pretty close to last year, right? Again, just the big difference being the PS5, right? Not exactly the same, but for not budgeting and not really kind of looking at the year-long expenditure as it's happening, you and I have pretty consistent numbers year to year, which I don't know is a little surprising, but also not. We've kind of settled into what we pay for and what we buy and what we do every year, and it's just consistent by habit. I think at this point. This is the moment in which I would like to, not dig too deep, but say that I understand that spending $2,000 on video games is a privilege. It is the hobby that Chris and I choose to do with our lives the most often. It is what we choose to spend our money on. And we understand that not everyone is able to do that or chooses to spend their money in other places. We have a gaming podcast. We like to game. So we choose to spend our money here. So while these numbers may seem very high to some of you, just consider that this is where we choose to spend our money. And while it may seem very low to some of you, we also, try to not overspend or spend too much, while at the same time spending what we think is reasonable for what we enjoy to do.
Well said.
The other thing I would like to mention, this is the fine print at the bottom. We did not include any hardware for PC. So we both bought desks this year. I bought some joysticks and I did spend some money on some keyboard stuff. We didn't include any of that. We do sometimes also have peripherals or hardware episodes. So we could talk about that at another time. I am a big fan of Twitch and Patreon. But those are not video game purchases. I consider those more like content creation and something else. So I don't include any of those payments that I make there. I did not include any of the gaming merchandise. So actually, literally right now, I am wearing an N7 Mass Effect t-shirt. I we did not include any of that stuff in our totals. We didn't include any non-game specific subscriptions. So the example I have here is Discord Nitro. I don't know that I subscribe to Discord Nitro, but anything like that, that is, kind of parallel to gaming, but not actually gaming related. We didn't include stuff like that. And I specifically did not include gifts to other people that were video games. So I did spend quite a bit of money this year giving Steam games and Guild Wars 2s and stuff like that to other people because they were not for me. They were gifts. They just happened to be video games. I did not include that stuff. So sorry for all the fine print, but I did want to be clear about what we did and did not include.
Yeah, I think that next year, if I've been kind of toying with the idea of paying for Discord Nitro again, which I've never really done, but like I've been thinking about doing an annual subscription of it just to kind of, I don't know, support Discord a little bit, get some of the perks. I'm in a bunch of Discords now, like I'm in several Discord servers, and they have some perks for like cross server management stuff. So if I did that, I think I would break it out as an individual line item next year, but nothing to report there as well on the kind of Discord Nitro front.
Do we want to do 30 seconds on Discord Nitro? There is literally one feature that would get me to pay for Discord Nitro.
What's that?
It is the ability to set your status on like showing whether you're playing a game per server.
Ah, okay. Yep.
If they did that, I would pay for it tomorrow.
Interesting.
They've done a lot of other per server stuff, like your avatar per server and your banner per server and all that other stuff. I want the ability to set my status per server, and I would pay for Nitro tomorrow.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, for me, it's kind of the profile picture per server and the better streaming quality, and the cross-server emoji is a big deal for Nitro. So those are the kinds of things that are top of mind when I'm thinking about getting Nitro, but I have not yet done that.
Yeah, they're great perks. They're great perks. None of them are putting me over the edge to pay $10 a month.
So if we end up with Nitro next year, maybe you'll hear it in the third annual Video Game Spending Roundup.
This has been a super long episode of P&A. Thanks for sticking with us. We would love to hear from you. If you remember something that we purchased that we didn't put on our list, or you want some more details about some of the subscriptions that we pay for, or why Xbox Game Pass is the best deal in gaming, you can talk with us. Let us know. All that good stuff. You can get into contact with us by visiting our Discord, which you can get to at discord.pnapodcast.com.
If you'd like to find any of our older episodes or read our show notes, we may put a big list of things from this game roundup into those show notes, so it might be worth doing. You can check all those out at our website, which is pnapodcast.com. That's P, the letter N, and the letter A, podcast.com.
This is a pinnacle episode because it is the second annual spending episode. It is very long. It is, I wouldn't say, super fun, but it is very indicative of how dedicated, Chris and I are to this podcast and to gaming. And we would love if you could share, the podcast. And if you would like to share specifically this episode, just to show, kind of what we're all about, we would love if you could do that.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.